Hello. So we'll continue talking about growing your startup business today. Thank you very much for joining us again. So today we are talking about growing your startup business. We've talked about ideating and coming up with the best ideas. So we move on at this time to growing the business. So first of all, you need to understand your market. And how do you do this? You need to know your target audience. What are their pain points? How do you know that? You need to draw a client avatar, I would say. So for example, let's say you're selling amala. Who buys amala? For who? What is the pain? What do they have to deal with while buying amala? That's what we are talking about when we're talking about knowing their pain points. So you need to also conduct a market research. You do some surveys. You need to analyze your competitors. We'll stay with the Amala example. You need to say who else is selling Amala. What am I bringing in differently? You can also check on social media. Social media is such a leveler. It has made it so easy. Market research is now so easy thanks to social media. So you can look and see what are other people doing, and it gives you an idea of where you should come, your entry points. Then you also need to adapt your product or service to local realities. So you don't just say, oh, if this thing works in New York, it must work in Lagos. No, you have to check, does Lagos have the critical infrastructure to support the kind of delivery model you want? For example, for your amala, would it still be piping hot when it gets to the customer? Will your customer order amala online? Is it affordable? Is your price affordable for the market you're going into? So we're going to talk about building a strong brand in next. So you have to stay consistent, whether you're online or offline. Stay consistent. Uh, so you can decide, for example, your color. So if you see, for example, real estate CC always shows off in green, even if everything is not all green. It is mainly green. This one example of consistency, both online and offline. Okay. And then you also need to invest in professional branding. You need to learn more about logos, colors, messaging. So I just gave the example of real estate city using green. That's using colors for branding. You can also make sure that your logo is consistent, your tone is consistent. So if you want to be a professional brand, you want people when they are looking for, they need a professional, they come to you. You want to be known as a professional. So leverage storytelling to connect with your customers. Make your stories relatable. Let's go back to the example of the person selling amala. So she can tell us a story of when she went to get the elubo. Elubo is what is that powder, is the yam flour that is used. So she can tell stories, for example, about how she sources raw materials. She can tell stories around how she makes the food. And through the value chain, there's an opportunity for a story. Connect with your customers. Then let's talk now about leveraging digital tools. You can use social media for marketing and for engagement. Remember, we also talked about using it for market research because it's there's data there. You can also market, you can run ads, you can do content marketing, etc. And you also get to engage with the people that you are selling to. It's such a powerful tool that we should be leveraging, honestly. Then if you want to set things up so that it's not, your system your business is not fully dependent on you being there, and also you want to have e-commerce platforms where after people have engaged with you on social media, you send them to a particular link, for example, and when they click on the link, there's a landing page. Then from the landing page, basically, I'm going to go to the next thing. Some of them are integrated. The next thing is the payment gateway. So you don't want somebody to be saying, "Oh, I've read your good article," and then you're sending them, for example, to WhatsApp. Then people have to have a chat. So you can set up so that there's a landing page. Immediately they get there, there's a payment gateway. So the next time they connect with you, or the first time they connect with you one on one, is when they have paid you. So you don't have all those cases of, oh, people always picking my brain, but they never pay, right? So they come immediately to after they pay to your WhatsApp, and then you're able to then give them the customer service, or you get their contact details from your payment gateway or your e-commerce platform, and you then reach out to them, and you're able to then continue that. Oh, okay, you've paid for this, these are the specifications of what you paid for, and so you can then fine tune before what's your address, blah blah blah, can be done on WhatsApp. And then for your business operations, you for your accounting, your HR, your regular operations, you want to use tools that you can afford. There's the opportunity of collaborating with others within the same space, so that you are not spending a lot on the tools. But it's good as much as possible, as soon as you begin to earn, to make sure that you have tools that are customized for your business. So that's a whole community. Then let's talk about money matters. So let's talk about funding, keeping proper records, investing wisely, prioritizing sustainability over quick wins. So let's discuss funding. How do you plan to fund this business? Is it going to come from your savings? Remember that for some of us, you're already still working, so you probably have some money, or you could want to look into angel investors, grants, venture capitals, cooperative societies. I'll say for personal savings and for cooperative societies, they are good for starting immediately. But if you are going to investors, you need to show workings, okay? And so, if you're going to go to investors, you have to have proper financial records. Even if you're not going to investors, you may need to go to the bank eventually, or you never can tell. So, make sure that your financial records are good. Make sure that we can check your books, and your books are telling us that your business is viable. You can start with Excel, just start recording your expenses, your income, and anything else that you can record. Then, when you start making profits, make sure you invest wisely. Remember that one of the reasons why we start businesses, whether on the sides or full blown, is that you want to leave an inheritance for your children's children. So when you start making healthy profits, you can invest in things like, for example, real estate. You can talk to real estate to see at that time, of course, and there are other instruments as well. Make sure that you don't put all your money in one basket. Be smart about that. Then I'll finish off on money matters by talking about prioritizing sustainability over quick wins. For some of us, we just want to make all the money quickly and all. That's why we don't have a lot of long lasting businesses that were handed over from generation to generation. It's because of this quick win mentality. Yes, it's good to start and all, but try to make sure that your business ethics will cause your business to survive for long, right? So now let's talk about scaling. First of all, it's about people. You have to first of all make sure that you identify the talents you need to do what you want to do. You hire them, and you need to train some of them. I find this interesting when, for example, you hired someone who graduated from secondary school, maybe has SSC, and you're expecting them to give you Harvard level results. You need to check yourself. You need to train. Then, as much as possible, one of the things that helps with scaling is partnerships and collaborations. When you find the right partners and you collaborate with the right people, they will take you to rooms that may have taken you many years to get to. So, for example, let's talk about the Amala seller. So, she enters into a partnership with someone that sells drinks. They can meet people, right, from their different areas, and do a cross pollination. Then you continuously innovate. Okay, you see, you've started selling amala. How can I innovate in my amala selling? What if I'm able to maybe put my amala in different shapes? What if I can add flavor to my amala? So that begins to take you to new frontiers. You begin to speak to a new clientele. Okay, what if I can start doing corporate amala in a way that corporate people will enjoy? So that's I'm now talking about improving your offerings. Okay, let's say you were just doing amala and ogufe. How about you now make it amala, and you add begiri, and you add maybe some fish, different offerings. and then maybe you now give us amala in 5 minutes. If you want amala to have some marinated fish and chicken, you can add different offerings. You can have different things. It shouldn't be just monotonous. And one other thing that helps again is to build your networks. Join startup communities and associations. Join communities. You meet people. You get fresh ideas. You network. Yeah. You could find your investors there. You could find your collaborators in these communities. And please, when you join communities, don't just join and just be quiet and just be looking at what they're doing. Get involved so that you are known, right? So thank you, and you can connect with me on Instagram, email, sorry, cecilialestateng@gmail.com. On LinkedIn, Denike Real Estate CC. On Instagram is at Real Estate CC. Same for my ex, also known as Twitter, or we can connect on WhatsApp +234 703 105 5974. Thank you, and God bless you.